The biggest life-changing event of our lifetime, the collapse of the U.S. dollar, is unfolding before our eyes. Hi, this is Jim Lynn, author of Making It Through Hard Times, The Survivor's Guide to Living in Post-Dollar Collapsed America. No one likes talking about the death of the dollar. In fact, many people refuse to even think about it because of what it means. But looking the other way will not stop or change the outcome of this catastrophe. Of all the life-changing events that could happen during our lifetime, and there are many, the collapse of the U.S. dollar is not only the most horrific, it's also the only one that's an absolute certainty. It's an absolute certainty because it's already happening. Mind you, if the dollar were the currency of some small third world country, its collapse would never make the news. But it isn't. The U.S. dollar is the reserve currency for the entire world. Every major foreign currency is pegged to the dollar. In other words, the value of these foreign currencies is determined by the value of the U.S. dollar. They have no value of their own. That means when the U.S. dollar collapses, all those foreign currencies go down with it. No one knows when the dollar will take its last gasp of air. But the financial guys who watch the dollar say its death and the ugly aftermath that follows is imminent. That means the collapse could literally happen tonight or come at any time. Again, no one knows the timing, only that the collapse is certain to happen. And when it does, words like hardship, struggle, calamity do not come close to describing what we as a nation of individuals and families are going to experience. And here's how it will likely go down. You'll wake up one morning, make coffee, and turn up the TV to get the morning news. The Secretary of the U.S. Treasury is speaking. At first, it isn't clear what's happened, but then it hits you. The U.S. government was forced into default and declared bankruptcy overnight. Your first reaction is to think, so what? But then, what you hear next is one of those gut-wrenching moments of complete disbelief. They're telling you the paper dollars in your wallet are now officially worthless. The dollar is dead. In fact, every dollar you've invested in stocks, bonds, IRAs, 401ks, and the like are also worthless. Understand your money isn't just worthless, it's worthless. What's more, the government has no emergency relief in sight. Now, there's a plan underway, they say, to institute a new monetary system. But even then, it will take months to get the banking system back up and running again with a new currency. They stress our old dollars will be of no use when the new dollar comes out. They might as well be used as toilet paper. In the meantime, banks, credit unions, and ATMs are shut down. Retail stores, gas stations, and businesses of all kinds have shut their doors. Without a way to do business, they can't sell goods or pay their employees. And that means massive disruptions of all kinds. This is what the collapse will bring upon us all. People will be left to their own devices to cope with the chaos and anarchy that is certain to follow. Essential services may continue for as long as they can, but these too will struggle to continue operating. After all, without gas to fuel cars, how will employees of these services get to work? The answer is they won't once the fuel in their car runs dry. And then there's the question of food and water. How will you or anyone be able to buy food? How will you or anyone get water if the city water stops flowing and the electrical grid is shut down? The answer is no one will, unless they are prepared. Here's the takeaway you need to heed. How much your life is going to change depends entirely on how well you are prepared before the collapse hits. Listen carefully now. Few people have the wherewithal or knowledge to make ready for such massive disruption. You may be thinking, I can take care of myself. That's right, you can. But how well you come out the other side of this mess depends entirely on how well you are prepared before the collapse, not after. If you wait until you know what hits the fan to act, you don't stand a chance. Everything I'm telling you can be summed up in one word: prepare. There's no need to run to the hills or dig a cave to hide in. There are many practical things you can do right where you are, but you need to be wise with what you do and how you do it. And that's why you need Making It Through Hard Times, the Survivor's Guide to Living in Post-Dollar Collapsed America. This guide is so comprehensive, it covers more subjects than what most people hardly ever think about. One of those subjects are your neighbors. These are the same people who can either be an ally or your worst enemy. That's why there are 2 chapters in the guide devoted to surviving in the city and suburbs. These 2 chapters lay out important options and what the consequences of each will be. The information's hard-hitting and specific, but it doesn't stop there. When times get tough, when banks are closed and food shelves are empty, there is strength and safety in numbers. People living in cities and suburbs can survive and even prosper if their local neighborhoods are organized to work together during the collapse. And this is where the guide makes a huge difference. Making It Through Hard Times has the information and resources needed to organize and bring your neighbors together. It's what separates this guide from similar books. The guide comes with forms, handouts, and reports you'll need to put your neighborhood on notice, organized, and ready. Called Neighbor Keeper, the program tells you how to set up citizen patrols, educational forums, store water and food, how to help one another, how to stay connected and keeping the neighborhood organized, safe, and informed. The Hard Times Guide, which includes the Neighbor Keeper program, is only $19.97. And best of all, it comes with a no-risk, 56-day, no-questions-asked money-back guarantee. With our dependency on others for life's essentials, our way of life will never be the same once the dollar collapses. Once again, how much your life is going to change depends entirely on how well you are prepared before the collapse hits. Many people can't handle this kind of information. They will deny it and go on with their lives as though everything is normal. Don't be one of them. Click on the red Don't Panic button below and get your copy today.